For some in Lincoln, this was the only way to get around today. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. What a mess, right? After up to 8 inches in the Lincoln area last night. The governor today declaring a state of emergency. Streets, neighborhoods, even some parts of town cut off by the flooding. This is video from a drone flying over parts of Lincoln showing you just how bad last night's torrential rains and the flooding it caused today. We found out this afternoon some Lincoln residents are being asked to evacuate because of Salt Creek rising waters. Channel 8's Vanessa Brown is going to kick off our team coverage. She joins us live. Vanessa.
Rod, navigating anywhere in Lincoln right now is pretty difficult. We've already hit roadblocks, lots of heavy traffic. We're here where 10th Street meets Salt Creek. Officials are very concerned at this hour because of how high the water is. Let's go ahead and pan down so you can see exactly what is going on. That water on Salt Creek moving very swiftly, obviously very swollen, getting very close to topping the levee after more than 7 inches of rain in the area. People in the North and South Bottoms neighborhoods are at risk for flooding. Right now, there is a voluntary evacuation in place. It spans from Cornhusker to Van Dorn and Folsom to 8th. Here's a closer look at what's happening to Salt Creek. Flood stage is 20.5 feet. As of 2:30 this afternoon, we were at 28.6. That's more than 8 feet above flood stage. The record crest since 1908 is 33.6 feet. This is the second highest level forever recorded. Obviously, a concern for residents.
It's pretty scary. I was on break at work, and I came back to my coworkers telling me that our neighborhood was going to be evacuated. So, yeah, it's a little scary.
You're getting the heck out of here, huh?
Yes, we're leaving. Not taking any chances.
It's Nebraska. It ain't raining tonight. The levee ain't going to break, and I think the evacuation's silly. Honestly, to tell you the truth.
Here are some places you can go if you are evacuating. The F Street Recreation Center at 12th and F, the Belmont Recreation Center at 1234 Judson. The Red Cross will be available there. You are also welcome at the People's City Mission. Again, Salt Creek here in Lincoln is more than 8 feet over flood stage. It is expected to peak the level at its highest tonight, then fall back below flood stage by tomorrow morning. We'll, of course, keep you updated on our evening news tonight. You can also find more information on that voluntary evacuation on our website. Just go to klkntv.com.
All right, let's hope it doesn't get too crazy out there. Vanessa Brown reporting live for us. Thank you so much. We have been getting dozens of photos and videos coming in from damage across the county and beyond. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Camilla Ortiz has those images. She put them all together and joins us now. Camilla, she is in the newsroom. Camilla?
Yeah, Rod, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, things were pretty messy this morning here in Lincoln as several roadways and areas had to be shut down due to standing water. Many parts of southeast and south central Nebraska have a big mess to clean up after being pounded by storms and torrential rain Wednesday night.
The good news is we have no reports of any injuries anywhere in the city or the county.
City officials addressed the damage this morning, and Governor Pete Ricketts authorized an emergency declaration. The governor did a flyover of some towns south of Lincoln that were hit especially hard. Here's some photos. This is Roseland, where weather officials confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down. The town of Deschler that you're seeing here had to be partially evacuated because of flooding.
We did see a fair amount of flooding damage in Deschler. We saw some cars that had been swept off the road there.
And here's a photo of Hebron. Lincoln saw significant flood damage too. Check out this drone footage of Haymarket Park completely covered by water. Rain also flooded several city roads like West O and North 84th Street, seen here, sweeping cars off the streets. This photo shows a vehicle completely submerged in a North Lincoln creek. Public safety says they responded to at least 90 incidents where people needed assistance getting themselves or their vehicles out of standing water.
Our main message today is this: don't go driving through flooded areas. Do not go around barricades. Turn around. Do not put yourself in harm's way.
Creeks and lakes overflowed their banks. Entrances to Holmes Lake were closed because of standing water covering nearly all of the roads and trails in the park. Officials say Salt Creek and the Antelope Valley project did what it's supposed to do. But as you can see, the floodwater swallowed up the bike path along the creek. Officials say all roads near Salt Creek are in danger of closing down if they haven't already. City officials are also advising all heavy trucks and vehicles to stay off rural roads in the county. A lot of those gravel roads out there were damaged in the storm. Some have lost several feet of gravel because of moving water.
Camilla, I want to keep you up here for just a second here. You were talking about the roads being closed, so many different areas in town, and I know a lot of drivers were frustrated today. We just received word. Director of Public Safety Tom Cassidy has announced that they're closing West O at Sun Valley Boulevard because of water over the road. Of course, that's right next to Salt Creek, where we have the voluntary evacuation also taking place there along there. So I know you saw a lot of that today, but again, closing West O at Sun Valley Boulevard, and I'm sure you would agree people need to be careful, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of roadways closed, like you mentioned earlier. Some neighborhoods are not being able to be accessed right now, so keep your eyes out. Just be safe out on those roads. All
right, Camilla Ortiz, thank you so much for putting all that together. We now want to take a little closer look at some of the affected areas west and southwest Lincoln. They were hit hard too. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Fabrizi joins us live for that. Lauren.
Yeah, Rod, we are just off of Highway 77 near Rosa Parks Way. Now, this is just one of the many examples of the flooding that has impacted the county. Now, we are not going to get in the water to show you how deep it is because we do not know where it drops off. Now, other areas that were affected that I was at earlier, just west of that intersection near 14th and Old Cheney, and also Southwest High School, forcing students to have to move their cars to safety. After Wednesday night's storm, some people in southwest Lincoln are paddling their way out of their homes. Check out this flooding just west of 14th and Old Cheney, making its way up to Highway 77. We're told the water is about waist deep, flooding some of the basements in these homes. A group of young women who live nearby couldn't drive out of their street, but they could kayak.
Salt Creek is all the way up to the top and overflowing. There is no creek anymore. It's just one huge mass of water.
We just walked up to our friend's house, brought down the kayaks, and then started kayaking, and we're like, we're just gonna make the best of the situation that's going on right now.
And not too far away at Southwest High, you can see half of the main parking lot is covered in water. Students scurry during first period to get their cars to higher ground.
My car was in the water. I had to go move it the first time, and then water got in it again, and I had to go move it again.
The water was about 10 yards away from my car, so if I didn't get to it, I think I might have been in some big trouble.
About 5 cars were submerged and had to be pushed out. The principal says about 20 other cars needed to be moved, some having a little water inside. And that's not all, folks. The water drenched other parts of campus too.
To see our tennis courts underwater and our softball field, baseball field, that's frustrating.
And some good news in this. When I was there earlier, the principal told me the water did not make its way into the school. And now again, we are just off of Highway 77, and Jen, just south of here, a mess, right?
It is a mess. If anyone was driving through Lincoln today and didn't have to take a detour, you're one of the lucky ones. Some people spent the afternoon just trying to figure out how they'll get home.
I can't get home. It's horrible. What a mess.
Lynn Taylor was one of many taking a U-turn. The closure of Highway 77 south of Lincoln meant getting to their destination was almost impossible. You can see here the highway is completely covered in water. Susan Ream couldn't get to work in Beatrice.
I tried this morning going down Warlick Boulevard, and I only got to about a little ways down, and the road was completely covered.
And Taylor, who lives just off the highway, got into town this morning but can't get back home after checking multiple routes.
I've been over on Sawtillo on 40th, and then up to 54th and over to Roca Road, and you can't get through that way.
With Salt Creek spilling over the banks and onto the highway, there are many curious minds who walk to check out the damage.
Flowing rather fast. I'm surprised how fast it's flowing.
Over at Lincoln Industries, more people unable to get to work. The business is surrounded by water, and they're working to surround it with sandbags. Lincoln Industries, which is off in the distance behind me, they spent the afternoon worried that they wouldn't know what to do if the water kept rising, and they don't have a complete plan of action. Also in the distance behind me, a lot of traffic. For anyone on the road tonight, be patient, be careful, and be ready to turn around.
All right, Jen Hatcher and Lauren Fabrizi, both reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much. Well, last night's heavy rains are causing a big headache for many homeowners. Flooded basements. Channel 8's Marlena Thornton joins us now with that.
Rod, Property managers around 35th and Huntington have their hands full today as they work to clean up flooded basements from last night's storms. Work began early this morning around 5 as they began pumping flood waters out of various apartments' basements. Some of the complexes in the area had about a foot of water around knee level. The water is coming from backed up sewers. Those living in the basement units say most of their belongings are ruined, and this isn't the first time. They said this also happened last fall.
This is the second time I've gone through this. It's not fun. Everything gets ruined. You have all-day job, and that's when the water actually finally recedes.
Apartment owners say the damage estimates are in the thousands, which includes removing the carpets. Wastewater crews are out all around the city trying to relieve the pressure of the sewage systems, which is causing the backup. They say the areas of 33rd to 56th from Holdridge to Adams were heavily affected. The city's wastewater management office is really backed up with calls right now. They are taking people's addresses and numbers. Make sure you document the damage with photos.
All right, Marlena, thank you so much. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Luke Doris. Luke, you were saying basically anywhere from about 5 to 8 inches last night.
Yeah, and that's through Lancaster County. Some spots saw even more. We've had a report of upwards of 9 inches in Saline County, just southwest of Lincoln, as we got in toward the Wilbur area. And some of those spots that we saw in southwest parts of Lancaster County, southeast parts of Saline County. Here's your live view out through Tower Cam with a lot of the rain going on, a lot of flooded roadways. It's a tough go out there this evening. Here it is as we get to the rush hour, and you can see traffic is a mess out there. So just get ready to deal with that as you make your way about town through the rest of this evening. All right, here's some rain reports that we have for you. Lincoln Airport officially at 6.59 inches. A lot of you saw more than that. Look at 56 in Pine Lake, upwards of 7.5 there. We saw Swanton in Saline County, almost 10 inches. Hebron, nearly 9 inches, setting some records in many, many spots. Wilford, out into Joe, our weather watcher Joe, rather, he saw about 5.5 inches. And we've got more rain out there. We've got more heavy thunderstorms. Look at this on HD radar in the southeastern part of Nebraska from Pawnee City down toward Wymore. Even some severe storms trying to punch in out of northeast Kansas. We're going to be watching these tonight. How far north are they going to be able to make it? Could we see some rain here in Lincoln? We're going to look at that. I will say the atmosphere is still juiced up. It still has the ability to produce strong storms, including heavy rain, and the severe threat still on the table as we run through this forecast. We'll let you know when that may show up. It's coming up here in just a bit.
All right. Thank you so much, Luke.